the girl who married a snake and became queen of the river. It was the scream that tore through the quiet village that no one could forget. A young woman, drenched in water, stood trembling by the river bank, shouting, "He's not a man. He's a snake." Let me tell you how she got there. Long ago, in a small African village surrounded by thick forest and winding rivers, there lived a young woman named Efuru. She wasn't just beautiful, she had a sharp mind and a heart as big as the ocean. Everyone in the village admired her, but she was different. While other young women dreamed of marriage and children, Efuru dreamed of adventure, wealth, and a life that stretched far beyond the fields and rivers of her home. Her parents often warned her, "Efuru, don't let your dreams take you away from what truly matters: family, love, and a simple life." But Efuru would only smile. She loved her parents, but deep down, she wanted more. One sunny morning, Efuru went to fetch water from the river, as she always did. But this time, something unusual happened. She saw a man sitting by the water's edge. He was tall and striking, with skin that shimmered in the sunlight and eyes that seemed to see right through her. He introduced himself as Nu, a traveler from a distant land. His voice was deep and smooth, and his words carried promises of a life Efuru had only dreamed about. They began meeting by the river every day. Nu told her stories of his travels, of golden cities, endless feasts, and treasures beyond imagination. Efuru was enchanted. It didn't take long for her to fall in love. When Nu asked her to marry him and leave the village behind, she agreed without hesitation. But not everyone was happy about the match. Efuru's parents were suspicious. "Who is this man?" her mother asked. "Where does he come from? Why does he not speak with us, his elders?" Efuru brushed off their concerns. "You don't understand. He loves me, and he'll give me the life I deserve." Against their warnings, she married Nu in a small, quiet ceremony by the river. No one from her family or the village attended. It was just her and Nu, under the moonlight, with the river whispering around them. After the wedding, Nu led Efuru deep into the forest to their new home. It wasn't a simple hut like the ones in her village. It was a grand palace, with walls that sparkled like the scales of a fish and floors that shone like polished stone. Efuru was in awe. She thought she had made the right choice. But things started to feel strange. Nu had rules, too many of them. She was forbidden to leave the palace without him. She wasn't allowed to speak to strangers. And most importantly, she was never to enter a small room at the back of the palace. "That room is mine," he said firmly. Efuru tried to ignore her curiosity, but the more she thought about the forbidden room, the more it consumed her. Why couldn't she enter? What was Nu hiding? One day, when Nu was away, she couldn't resist. Her heart pounding, she crept into the forbidden room. Inside, the air was cold, and the walls shimmered with an unnatural glow. In the center of the room lay a giant snake, its body coiled tightly. Its scales were golden and glistened like the sun. As it uncoiled, it turned its head toward her. "Efuru," the snake hissed, and she froze. The snake's voice was Nu's. "Why did you disobey me?" Efuru screamed and ran out of the palace, her mind racing. The man she had married wasn't a man at all, he was a river spirit, a snake in disguise. She ran toward the river, hoping to escape, but as she reached the water, something unbelievable happened. The river came alive. The water rose, forming walls around her. She tried to scream, but the water pulled her under. Instead of drowning, she found herself in a glowing palace beneath the river. The walls shimmered with pearls and coral, and the air was thick with magic. A group of beings approached her. They were the river people, spirits of the water. One of them, an old woman with hair like flowing water, spoke. Efuru, do not fear. Nu chose you because of your pure heart and courage. He is not a man, but he is not evil. He is the guardian of this river, and he brought you here to be his queen. Efuru didn't know what to say. She was terrified but also intrigued. She had always dreamed of a bigger life, but she never imagined it would look like this. The old woman gave her a choice. You can return to your village and forget everything, or you can stay and rule the river. If you stay, you will have great power, but you must leave your old life behind. Efuru thought about her family and her village. She thought about the quiet life she had left behind and the strange, magical world she had entered. In the end, she made her decision. She stayed. Over time, Efuru learned to love her new life. She ruled the river with wisdom and kindness, helping both the river people and her village. Fishermen who respected the river found their nets full. Farmers who prayed at the water's edge never suffered drought. But those who disrespected the river, those who poisoned it or took more than they needed, were never seen again. The villagers often spoke of Efuru, the girl who married a stranger and vanished. Some said she had died. Others believed she had become a goddess. And on quiet nights, when the moon was full, some swore they saw her reflection in the river, smiling. The moral of the story is that you should be careful what you wish for, and never let greed blind you to the truth. But sometimes, unexpected paths can lead to your true destiny if you're brave enough to follow them. If you love this story and want to hear more thrilling African tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to African Sounds and Stories. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss an adventure. See you in the next story.